My week ended very well the last 3 hours because I realized the beauty and the power of having brothers to go to and converse with. Because all my life, I've always gone to sisters. I've always had a lot of women friends. My older sister, younger sister, my late mother. Like I've always had women to go to and be like, man, yeah, I just got that. When I came in today and to just have brothers, like I realized that within the last 3 hours. So that was the accumulation of my week. Like to be able to have brothers to go to and talk to and converse with and just get that opinion. I haven't done that.
And we will always be here.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yo, what's up? I am Omega, and this is Diverse Clarity. This is where we have those thought-provoking conversations about things that matter and some that don't. And over here, to my immediate left, I got my man Kingsley, and across the couch, I got my man Mel. What's good, fellas? How y'all doing tonight?
What up,
All is well, man. All is well.
Y'all ready? I'm tired. I'm tired.
I think
I'm tired.
that's because we've been here kicking it for so long.
How long we been here? It's just like every episode.
8, so about 3 hours.
Is it? Yeah,
it's always. It's normal. It's what we do.
Seems so late, man. It's like, I don't know, but it feels good.
Yeah,
I don't know. We got a lot out.
That was a good 3 hours, man.
Yeah, man, we got a lot out. I mean, that was 2 shows right there. Everything that we did. Yeah. You know what I mean? Well, what's your week been like, Mel? What's been going on with you?
Man, it's been good. It was my first week back at work. I took off last week.
Oh, okay. When you get off, you don't get. I
don't get breaks no more. Transition. Okay. Yeah. So first few days was really busy,
right,
and then kind of eased up.
Nothing happened with the kids, right? Because I remember the last time that we talked a couple episodes ago or something, you was about to go snatch a knot to somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, the kids good, man. The oldest one, she got a play tomorrow. This weekend.
Cinderella
play. So she's in the Cinderella play. So she has that for the entire Emirate.
Oh, that's in Dubai.
No, it's in Abu Dhabi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's at the Earth.
I thought you said you had to go to Dubai for.
I need to take my PCR to get in.
To get into the.
Yeah, it got to be 48 hours. I'm 5 days over, but.
Got you.
So.
Okay.
Yeah. But other than that, that's it. Just taking her. Well, I haven't been taking her. The whole family is off.
Right.
Except me.
Right.
So I go into work now.
And we have a we have a you going in now. You're not working from home.
No, I can't. It's too many people at home.
What?
Because
they're out. That's right.
My wife, the kids, they all off. The house
is just full. Go to your one spot, where we was at the other weekend and out there for like 4 hours. Just go there.
I would, but they'll come find me. So I just.
You ain't got to tell them. I got some Halloween masks you can have. I use for like some photo shoots. No. You can just put one on.
They smell me. They like hounds.
Okay, this means you just need to wash your ass. Man. This is what this is. I don't know. Somebody needs to take a shower after they take a potty cast.
Really? Yeah, to get you. Really? Well, you came for me. I had to get you mad.
I didn't come for you, man. I didn't come for you. I was just saying what little man said. You know what I'm saying?
How was your week, though?
Who, me?
Yeah.
It went by fast. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah,
it went by fast. I got quite a few things going on. So, I'm feeling good.
Okay.
In fact, you haven't said anything to anybody about what we working on, right?
No, not at all.
Okay, so working on a new show.
All right.
It's okay. I mean, we're not gonna talk about it here, but working on a new show. It'll probably already be out by the time they get this episode, because so working on a new show. I guess it's already gonna be after the fact, so I'm so glad to be doing this new project with you.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Yeah.
So I'm not gonna say any more about it, but we know what we're working on.
Right.
Yeah. So that's coming soon, and production for that starts this weekend. So I'm looking forward to it.
That's gonna be dope.
Those of you watching this episode right now, it's already out there, so you'll already know what we're talking about. And then later when you see the episode, you'll be like, "Oh, that's what they were talking about," and I'll be like, "Yep, that's what it is." So
boom.
That's been
as my boys say, boom.
What's up with you? Huh? Mr. Kingsley?
Kingsley King?
I am chilling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go with the
Barry White.
The Barry White.
He
What
been
is
yelling
that
all
Barry
night.
White song? It's Barry White, Albie Shore, all them.
I think
Very white and I'll be sure.
I do it because I want to just have a sense of control. I don't.
Okay.
I don't want to come off too.
To what?
Yeah, guys. I'm good.
But that's not you anyway, though.
Yeah.
It could be me sometime. I can come out being super excited, super high pitched voice, and if I'm really excited about something,
You sound like you're going through puberty. Because that's what that sounded like. No, that's what that sounded
so
like.
it'll be no, not that high pitched.
That's what you did. I don't know.
But yeah, I know what you said.
Yeah,
No, don't let him off the hook.
no, please, please, let me off the hook.
Don't let him off the hook.
Yeah.
Sounded like he on the cast of Saved by the Bell. I heard you.
Oh, you gotta call me. What? I'm not. Who am I?
Wait, hold up. He don't know what Saved by the Bell is.
No,
Did you see the
I
confusion?
do
Did you see
know.
the confusion
Okay.
look?
He
The
did.
confusion came because I was just like, how? Like I don't remember no high pitched voices, and I mean, I guess
Screech?
Screech.
Screech.
Actually, he passed away.
Yeah,
Oh, R.I.P.
he did.
What was his name?
Desmond Diamond. Something Diamond.
Dustin Diamond.
Dustin
Diamond.
Wow.
Yeah,
So-
Desmond is our people.
What?
Desmond is a brother name.
Who is Dustin Diamond? Please, Brother Black History, enlighten us.
No, I said
he was saying
because
the
I had
same
said
name.
Desmond Diamond, and you were
Right.
like, no, it's Dustin Diamond, and I was
Right.
just like, Desmond is a brother name.
Oh, okay. I
Screech ain't a brother.
thought you were
Okay.
saying that Desmond Diamond was somebody, and I'm like, okay, I really don't know who that is.
No. But no. My week was good. Where do I even begin, man? Just went to work, and this week was a PD week, so
Okay.
most people in private school are
Professional development.
Yeah,
for those
professional
that don't know.
development. So went to Expo for the first time.
Expo 2020.
Yeah, man, that was
Nah,
part
2021. This guy. This guy. Really?
I thought isn't that called Expo 2020?
How many expos have we had though?
None.
But the Olympics,
but it's
the
called
Olympics,
Expo
the Olympics they called
2020.
the Olympics 2020.
Right.
Yeah.
What?
But yeah, the Olympics
It's
this year was
called Expo
2020.
2020.
So it's Expo 2020, Olympics 2020. So they
Right, but I'm saying, how many expos have we had?
Here?
just one. This is the first one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the. Never mind, man.
What?
I was trying to clown you, but it's all good.
I missed it.
Yeah.
Oh, so this what we doing?
No,
Yeah,
I
this
really
can't be
missed
that.
it.
Fuck that. Nah, we missed that shit.
No, it's not
Is
that.
this payback for the episode that we just previewed? What was
No,
What's
no.
the thing?
that? Ain't none of that. You don't know how to play the drums. Y'all trying to get me back because of the preview of the episode. But y'all know that was fire. What episode is that? Number 4?
That is number 4.
I hope if you have not watched episode number 4,
Yeah.
it's called Pro-Black and Dating Interracially. And he's the star of the show. So
God.
It's not out yet.
it's coming out next week.
Oh, yeah.
By the time this
already.
Yeah.
For several weeks.
Yeah,
You know what I
I'm
mean?
tripping.
So because we ahead.
Yeah.
So it'll come out. What is Wednesday next week?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying what is the date? What was the date? Because
December.
is it 18? No.
No.
Wait,
no,
what's
no,
today's date?
17.
17. Today's the 17th.
So yesterday was the
No, today's 16.
Okay, so yesterday was the
15,
15th.
so
7
7.
days will be
Here go the
22.
public math.
So the
22?
the 22nd.
Yeah, so December 22nd.
Oh,
Yeah.
snap.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
So that episode that y'all were previewing tonight, that's December 22nd's episode.
Right.
So yeah, so y'all trying to get me back for that. I see what's up. I see what your plan is. It's okay.
No.
All right. It's all
But
good.
nah, my week was good. That was
Okay.
about it. So I'm here.
That's it.
Does
Why-
it?
why you-
Why you
well,
sound
why
like
you
that?
Because I want to.
You wanna be in control.
Because I want to say. I want to say something. My week ended the last 3. My week ended very well the last 3 hours because I realized the beauty and the power of having brothers to go to and converse with. Because all my life, I've always gone to sisters. I've always had a lot of women friends. My older sister, younger
Right.
sister, my late mother.
Right.
Like I've always had women to go to and be like, man, yeah, I just got that. When I came in today and to just have brothers, like I
Wow.
realized that within the last 3 hours. So that was the accumulation of my week.
Right.
Like to be able to have
Respect.
brothers to go to and talk to and converse with and just get that opinion. I haven't done that.
And we will always be here.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Right,
man. I
right.
appreciate that.
Always.
So yeah, that was one of, I know I told y'all guys, like I got something I'm gonna say in the beginning, But yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Like to end the week, my week accumulated with what happened the last 3 hours, and just coming to that realization. Like it's good.
I want to talk about some of that. Like it wasn't in the plans, but like some of the conversation that we had. I mean, we don't have to go into details, but like one of the biggest things out of it, right? There were a few, but one of the biggest things out of it from my side was why do people always make assumptions? Right? Like what is that about? Like and when people make assumptions, usually it's on like the negative side, right? You and I had a conversation about this a couple of days ago. We we were touching on it in today's conversation, and I just give an example and I let y'all run with it. But like, you know, if you're in a relationship, for example, right, and you know you got a routine, you got a schedule, right? Most of us kind of do, right? You get off work at a certain time, you normally home at a certain time. If your lady or your man is there, whatever. You know, they're expecting you because this is like the normal routine. It's a normal schedule. But if you're late, right? And like, let's say you didn't call for whatever the reason is, right? But you didn't call. Why is it usually like maybe that assumption might be that, you know, something on the negative side, right? Oh, I hadn't heard from him. He probably out there doing something he ain't supposed to do.
Out there with them skeezers.
You know, them skanks and out. But really though, like why does our mind usually automatically go to the negative part? Like why do we do that?
I think it's a trigger. It's a trigger from previous experiences. And so when you go into these relationships, you don't let go of past hurt or past issues. And so when you come into the new relationship and it's something that triggers the behaviors of a previous relationship, is automatically, oh, he doing the same thing old buddy did, or she's doing the same thing old girl did. And so, you know, one of the things that I was taught was love like you never been hurt before. And so when you get in these relationships, you got to let go. You need to heal. You need to take care of yourself. You know what I'm saying? And so that way, when someone does something similar to the previous, or what pissed you off in the previous relationship, it doesn't come off as, oh, I should have reacted in this manner. You know what I'm saying? So when you think of,
but what if the person hasn't done anything?
But what I'm saying is they're bringing past experience to the new experience. And so if in the past experience, her last boyfriend will always be late because he was out with some skanks. When she see you late, he doing the same thing. Yeah, he got that skank behavior going. You know what I'm saying?
And I used to always, not even used to always say, I even said it when my current relationship first got started. I was like, look, I'm not gonna be paying taxes for somebody else's mistakes.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I just never felt that was the right way to go.
Right.
But you also have to be conscious. You have to make a conscious or concerted effort if you're in a relationship together to make sure that, you know, you're not holding somebody else accountable for what somebody else has
past
done.
behaviors, yeah.
Right. But I think the biggest part is like communicating. But why do you think?
Yeah, I was about to say communication, but then I shout out to season 2, episode 1, insecurity. I think a lot of it has to do with
jealousy versus insecurity.
Yeah, like I would feel like it's something in it's like we combining everything we're saying: past, communication, insecurity, and then you mesh that together. You have what we have now, where it's just like I'm just gonna assume the worst,
right?
Because I'm looking at my past, I'm insecure. And I haven't really communicated. There's a break in the communication.
Right.
But I think a lot of times it comes from something that's not consistent.
Lack of vulnerability is one. Because in this case, we need to communicate, right?
Right.
If we know that we've gone through some turmoil and trials and tribulations, we have to communicate that to our partner if we truly want him or her, you know, depending on who we're talking about, to understand what it is that we're going through.
But that's what people that are consciously aware of what's going on. But a lot of times when that happens, when somebody responds in that way, they're not aware of their behavior.
They're aware, but I don't think they know how to communicate it.
Nah, right? I think they are communicating. They just not communicating what they're hurting from.
But that's what I mean. Yeah. But they don't know how to communicate it. All they realize is like, they know that they feel something that doesn't feel good.
Right.
And there's a negative reaction to it. But they're not, when I say not knowing how to communicate, I mean, being able to sit down, like if you have somebody that has just come out of a relationship and they were hurt in a certain way, and that has built the insecurity, right? If the person doesn't call them for several days, right? But they're dating, right? Or a person is more friendly with someone of the opposite sex and they're not cool with that, and that's being witnessed, and that makes that person feel that insecurity or whatever comes from the jealousy, whatever it is. If you don't properly communicate that, because an ineffective way to communicate that is, man, what are you doing? This and this and da. That's not an effective way of communicating. But if you tell the person, listen, I'm not trying to say you're out there doing something, but when you do this, it makes me feel like this. And I don't want to feel like that. And I want this to work. So you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but go ahead.
I don't know if I'm going to still stay on the same track that you guys are on, but I think it's also not want to look stupid. I think we're in this generation right now in society and in this time frame where motherfuckers don't want to look stupid.
Right.
What's looking stupid though? Explain that for me.
Like
weak, insecure.
Yeah, or being played.
So
where it's just like
stupid.
In some people's eyes.
In some people's eyes, yeah. It can just be like, like I don't want to look stupid. Like, okay, you out late. I'm gonna assume the worst because I don't want to look stupid. Because I'll look stupid if I say, oh, he's, what, he's not okay. He's not messing with anyone. Maybe it's just because he got a flat tire.
Right.
And then you got friends in your ear like, nah, hell nah. So I think that idea of I don't want to look stupid, but I don't want to come off.
Do you believe in the law of attraction?
Yeah.
You believe in the law of attraction?
Manifestation and stuff like that.
So if you're constantly thinking this way, don't you think that that's what you're bringing in? Like they usually say like,
you are what you attract.
Yeah, essentially. Right. So it's, if you're thinking this way, like they say, you are what you eat, you become what you think. Right. So it's like, if I'm constantly thinking, man, last two girls I dated, they messed around on me. Man. She's so cute. I'm sure she's going to do it. Why would she want to mess with me? I don't know, man. I know this ain't going to work out because she's like this, she's like that. And then 3 months down the road, you're like, man, I knew that was going to happen. You brought that on.
I think it's a...
That's a self-sabotaging behavior.
Self-sabotage.
I feel like it comes from media. How many movies you see with that scenario? How many movies you see with the he or she is out there doing, and I feel like we're feeding into whatever media is giving us, because you don't see rare reactions where it's like, man, she didn't text me back. Oh, she late.
It's the sign.
And it's like, oh, she was out there planning your 40th birthday. But
is that fair though?
What is fair? Like,
because you say it comes from the media, and I understand that, right? But then that I was like, yeah. But no, you say it comes from the media, but I ask, is it fair? Because if we flip that, there's plenty of movies out there that are about love and like the soppy, what they call rom-coms, romantic comedies, right? There's plenty of these movies. There's plenty of movies out there where Terminator's blowing up something, Rambo's, shooting up something or whatever. Cars are driving and jumping through buildings in the middle of Dubai and Abu Dhabi and, whatever. And these are massive franchises, but not everybody is doing that. So, and rap music talks about whatever. Just because it's in the media doesn't mean that it's something that we have to do, right? Because if we use that logic, then we're gonna fall into the same boat of the people saying rap music is da 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 da.
The subconscious is a powerful thing, though,
right? But there's also things out there that are of the positive, and that's my point, right? Why do we always focus on the negative when we assume and when we take in content? We always go the negative route. Sure, there's a lot of shoot 'em up movies. There's a lot of bang bang songs. There's a lot of cheating type of movies with romantic whatever. But there's also a lot of love movies out there. There's also a lot of things.
The Notebook.
Oh well, yeah. I guess that's a classic, yeah. But you get what I'm saying. So like, why is it people aren't being positively impacted by The Notebook instead of being negatively impacted by Debbie Does Dallas?
The big C word, choice. I'm gonna choose to focus on this negative versus saying, you know what, maybe he or she is running late because they surprise, they're getting ready for my surprise birthday party. Okay, cool. But the surprise birthday party, most times in that situation, and I don't want to dwell on the situation, most situations we hide in the surprise party So we'll act clueless. We'll act like, oh no, I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
So now the person's thinking like, well, okay, they ain't mentioned a party, so I know it ain't the party. It must be another, person.
But that's a
No, I think Mel was right.
That's an inner issue, man. So when you think of somebody that have a conscious behavior that somebody's trying to mess over them, that's something internal that they have to deal with. You know what I'm saying? And so, when you meet somebody and their response when you're not home on time, I know you out there with them skanks, you have to have the self-awareness and self-conscious to say, why do you assume that the worst when I'm not home, or if I don't come home at a certain time, and have those conversations and flip it on them. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is something that you got to deal with. Now, I'm here to support you. I'm here to guide you, but I ain't here to get beat up on. You know what I'm saying? And even likewise, I understand what you're saying as far as like media and everything, because it gives you discernment, but also you have to understand situations, the facts, the environment, the context is in, to actually determine if the discernment that you're feeling is going to be it warrants
it, yeah.
The correct response. If it doesn't, you shouldn't respond that way. You know what I'm saying? So if you watching these, heartbreak movies, yeah, it gives you discernment, it gives you the wisdom, but you're not the person in the show, and that's not the other. That's not the woman or whatever, vice versa. So you gotta still do your fact check.
Right.
And I think it's situational awareness too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Say that again.
Situational awareness. So it's like focusing.
I've heard that term before, but I like it.
No, but it's like, look, focusing on what scenario you might be in, right? Just because, if we're talking about two women, right? Obviously, but we're talking about two women. One of them is an ex. Just because that ex over there did X, Y, and Z, right? And the outcome was whatever B, it doesn't mean that when the new person does X, Y, and Z, that's going to be the same outcome.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and then you want to take in time to like get to know who and what that person is and how and why they move the way they move. Because just because they move in a similar way to somebody in the past, it doesn't mean that because those moves look similar, they're prepping to do the same thing of the negative, right, to you in the future.
Right.
So,
Dang, that's like a dramatic.
And it changes, man. Even like in marriage, man, like the way my wife operated when we were younger, it's not the same, man.
Right.
And so if I only consistently dealt with her how we were when we were younger, we'll be divorced.
That's different. You don't think that's different though? In the
People
sense of meeting someone new, you just got out of something, you're meeting someone new, he or she tends to do the same or is doing things that kind of does a trigger. You don't think that's a little bit different than being like, hey, I met my wife is not the same person I met when we were dating and stuff like that.
What I'm saying is like when we first met, she do something I didn't like, right? So like O was saying, you got to communicate. Like, I don't like it. But even though you're communicating that you don't like it, she still have, like you said, choice to make the change or not. Then you have a choice to accept it or dig deep and see why you don't like it. Where does it come from? You know what I'm saying? Because you don't like something because of what? Why? You know what I'm saying? So my wife had a big problem. Like if she called me and I didn't answer the phone, I might be in a meeting. You know what I'm saying? I'm 9 times out of 10, I was in a meeting, so I wouldn't answer. So she will say, you can at least respond. In my mind, I was always tell her, for what? You know what I'm saying? She said it was an emergency. It could be an emergency, whatever. Emergency is emergency. So I had to realize, understand where she's coming from. So we talked about it. She told me, we dug deep where the that insecurity came from. And by me digging deep and understanding, I realized that to support her and to help her, I can send a message. So I have a custom message in my phone. If I'm in a meeting, I just send, I'm in a meeting. And so and we created rules. If it's an emergency, 911.
All right.
So you just got to figure out like that communication piece is important. And so you got to remember, like you have your own perspective in this world. right? And so how you operate and how you deal with things is based on your perspective. But that's just your perspective. They have their own perspective, and you got to understand their world in order to kind of adapt and understand and compromise and mend. And both of y'all have to do the same thing.
Wow. You said something different though. You said something because we were talking about things looking the same, right? You mentioned, so you were saying like if it's lost my train of thought.
If it reminds you of the other person that he was with.
Right. Thank you. Yeah. Looking at the same, reminding me of the other. So like reminding you of the other person. I knew what I was trying to say. Golly, can't get it out. But reminding you of the other person. So what if you used to date someone that did a lot of shady stuff, right? They had secrets. They hang up the phone when you walk in the room, right? Like give me some other examples. They hang up the phone when you walk in the room. They take most of their phone calls on the balcony, or they go into the other room. Hang on, I don't want to pull no triggers out. All right, so
keep their phone with them even everywhere they go.
You're not pulling any triggers, but you damn sure loading up the bullets. But go ahead.
Okay, but hang on. We gonna make this. I just want to give you. I want to give you a different perspective, right? So the person
loading the gun up.
Yeah. All right. So the person is they're not answering their phone around you. Right? They get off the phone when you come in, or if they need to make a phone call, they go in the other room, right? This kind of thing. And you end up breaking up with that person because you find out that they're doing some stuff that you don't approve of in your monogamous relationship. Okay. A year passes. You get in another relationship. Okay. You still have trauma from that previous relationship. This person also, oftentimes when you come in the room, they hang up the phone. Oftentimes when you're in the room with them, if they need to make a phone call, they go in the other room, right? But the difference is that second person, a lot of the times, she's like setting up surprises for you. Oh, he's home. And you're getting, but what I'm saying is just because the action looks like what it was before, it doesn't mean that the results are the same thing. So we have to give people a chance, because also you need to remember when you go into a new relationship, some of the things that you do might also trigger that person, and you may have the best of intentions, and you're going to think, but that's not fair. I wasn't doing anything wrong. Okay, fine. But you're holding somebody else accountable for what somebody else did. And now somebody else is seeing in you what somebody else did in their life. Right. And now they're holding you accountable. On your side, you're going to be like, that's not fair. But on the flip side, if you're seeing that in that new person that you're with, you're going to hold her accountable, and that's not fair.
We do.
So that's why he's saying, and that's why. And what was it you said about going into a new relationship? Going to a new relationship, how?
Loving like you never been hurt.
And that's hard. It takes a mature person to do that, right? It takes a very mature person to do that. But it's
a form of vulnerability.
We have to. I was just about to say that.
It's a form of
if we want to find love, if we want to find a solid relationship, we have to find a place where we can be vulnerable, right? We don't self-sabotage, and we stop making assumptions. I'm not saying forget what we've learned. I'm not saying we forget what we learned, right? I'm not saying that. We don't forget what we've learned, because the wounds that we have, as we lick them and they heal, we remember where the scar came from. But it doesn't mean that we're going to stop that scar from letting us progress in the rest of our life. Right. That scar is not going to get, it's not going to get in the way of my happiness. Go ahead.
Well, that example, and I'm going to always be honest on this show, that example that you just said, literally, I'm listening to you and I'm like, that's a normal reaction.
It is.
To me, I'm just like, that's a normal reaction. You just got your ass handed to you in one relationship. You in another relationship, same stuff is happening. It's normal to be like, motherfucker, you about to give me your ass to kiss? Hell no. Nah.
But what do you?
But it's hard to really look at it and say,
you can have that. You can have that feeling. No one is saying not to have the feeling.
Right.
Is your response
emotional maturity? Right. And we all, every episode, just about, and even when we all talk as brothers, you always hear me talking about communication. Always. Even just tonight, I was giving a compliment to my relationship and saying how easy it is to talk to my girl. How often we talk and how we talk about everything under the sun. If I didn't have that communication with her and she didn't have it with me, if those lines were not open, like any other fallible relationship, we would have extreme issues and it could get in the way of progressing as us together. But we don't. You get what I'm saying? We talk about everything, even the awkward stuff. you have to put yourself in a position where the same way that you want to feel comfortable, right? Mm-hmm. You're able to do that with the other person. I told my girl, I'm like, listen, even if we have awkward conversations, we're having those because I want it to work. You get what I'm saying? I'm not going nowhere. We have it because I want it to work. If I were to stop having these awkward conversations, it's because now I don't care and I don't want to be in that space. So I'm going to have these awkward conversations with you because I want to wake up and you're still mine tomorrow. You get what I mean? So, but you have to communicate these things because I know that anybody could have been in a relationship before and awkward conversations that have adverse reactions that turn into disagreements and then go into arguments that could mean something else in the other person. I know people, bro, where they've been in relationships, and I'm not lying. I know this probably sounds childish. They've been in relationships, they get into an argument, and then they walk away thinking, I think we broke up. And it's like, wait, what? What do you mean? Y'all had an argument and you think y'all broke up? Yeah, like she was yelling, I was yelling, and then she shut the door and then I left. What is that? Seriously? You broke up now? Like just because you had an argument? No, get your ass back in the game. Go get her. What are you doing? Do you get what I'm saying? So, but you have to communicate that because that individual is looking at it like, well, when that happens and she yells and I yell and then she shuts the door and then I'm left to go home. In the past, that's always how it's been. We just ended up breaking up. Man. So and I'm telling you about a real person, bro. And he just always used to assume, I guess we just broke up.
It's perspective. It's your,
you know,
bro,
it's what you bring to the table.
This stuff is healthy, man.
It's not healthy. You're
I'm
right.
listening to you. I'm like,
but that's why you have to communicate. You see what I'm saying? This brother,
it's like you want to be single for the rest of your life, huh? Get this, man. It's hard.
But that's what I told him. I'm like, listen, you have to communicate. You have to let your person know this is how this makes you feel. And for those out there listening that think, oh, that you sound like a chump, you this and this, whatever, kill yourself. Like it's whatever. Like I'm not playing that game because I'm in a relationship that I want to work. And if that means I'm gonna sound like a chump or whatever.
I think the word now is simping.
Whatever.
Is it simping?
Whatever they want to call it.
Simping is old.
No, they call it simping now.
Whatever they want to call it, I'm gonna do what it takes so that I can be happy in the relationship that I have. You and we have to make sure that we're doing whatever it takes in our relationships to make it work.
So let me ask y'all this. Choosing not to communicate effectively, do you think that's a form of self-sabotage?
It is.
Without
like I'm literally making a choice to be like, you know, I'm not going to communicate that.
Without a doubt.
So how is it self-sabotage?
Are we talking about what we were talking about earlier?
No, he's just talking period. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, in general.
Okay.
So, but I mean, so I lost my train of thought. But yeah, I just want to know, like, I'm choosing not to. But how is it sabotage if it's coming from a traumatic spot, though? But if it's coming from a spot where it's like, yeah, I did do that before, because I mean, y'all know my situation.
Right.
I was open with her.
Right.
And she still bounced on my ass.
Right.
So it's just like, okay, now this new relationship, I got to be open again. It's just like,
yeah. Why?
That's how it works.
Why not?
So am I self-sabotaging myself because I'm like, oh, I don't really want to do that? Or why can't it be looked at as, okay, yeah, this brother did go through some shit. I can understand that.
How will she know that if you don't talk to her about it?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And that talking would be considered
being vulnerable.
Vulnerable and communicating.
And being able to
like
put yourself out there.
Racing, man,
but but confirm what self-sabotage is, though, because that can be conflated in the way we just said it. So self-sabotage is going to be you feel or you think a certain way because of your past, and you come in and before you even let your future develop, you make a decision based on your past, therefore preventing you from having what's in your future. It's preventing you from being with that person. You see what I'm saying? Because the last time you was with somebody, and this is just an example, but the last time you was with somebody, every time y'all got into an argument, she did the hand clap and they end up hitting you in the face, right? So the new person, she start hand clapping and you're like, I'm out. Do you get what I mean? So like, but you can't bring that into there.
But that's what he was saying. So he was saying like in a previous relationship, he was open. And so now he's starting a new relationship. And he's going to start it, instead of being open, he's going to start it closed. That would be a consider of self-sabotage if you remain closed.
But what I was getting at was the part where he's now thinking about it. He's thinking about, oh man, this right here happened in my last relationship. Just because you're thinking about it isn't self-sabotage. But if you make a decision based on that information,
right,
now you're sabotaging yourself. You're preventing yourself from having what could be. Just because it looks like what it was before doesn't mean that's what it is now.
Yeah.
And we're talking about somebody brand new. So I just wanted to make that distinct difference that just because you think about it, that's not self-sabotage. You actually have to perform an act to make it a sabotage, commit to the sabotage, right?
Yeah.
So
you have to repeat you have to create a pattern or behavior. You know what I'm saying? So like if you have a pattern of constantly closing for a certain thing, you're self-sabotaging the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So,
okay.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I didn't want to
finish.
Okay. So I just asked the question about communicating, not communicating. Is not being vulnerable a form of self-sabotage as well? Because we definitely have to define vulnerability.
Right.
It's different in everyone's eyes.
Right.
It's different in every situation.
Yeah. So if I choose not to be vulnerable, am I self-sabotaging as well? The same concept as not communicating.
I actually kind of think of self-sabotage more like it's almost irrational. Like it's almost like an irrational kind of fear. Like, man, she look good. I know she gonna cheat on me. Let me just leave now. Like, it's like, wait, what?
That's an insecurity though.
Yeah.
But you're sabotaging
the
potential. It's usually like something where, I don't know. Maybe that's me. But I'm not self-sabotaging, but I'm just saying, clarity. But I'm not self-sabotaging, but I'm just saying. So like, I think for me, it usually sounds more like it's almost irrational.
Right.
It's like,
I think it could be.
Where you get that from? It's like, did she do that? Like, no, she didn't, but I could see it coming. Really?
But self-sabotage it depends on every part, on the individual.
Or the situation.
And the situation and individual. And so you might not self-sabotage in a relationship. You could self-sabotage yourself in life. You know what I'm saying? You could self-sabotage yourself in your health journey. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Where that you love baked goods and you stop at a bakery to get a donut every day. You ain't gonna make no progress like that. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta.
But people usually know when they're self-sabotaging, I think. People usually know what they're doing, but it's like they can't help it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they just can't. They're just like they see something and they're like, oh man, I can't deal with this. Like it's too much. It's too much. Right. And I feel like they know, but it's not articulated. But they're doing it. Right. When we talk about being vulnerable or not being vulnerable, I think that's more like a characteristic within oneself, and they don't even really realize it. It's just who and how they are.
Not necessarily.
Really? I mean, because if you're being vulnerable or not being vulnerable, let's say not being vulnerable is usually based on your past. So it's a scar that's been put on you.
True.
And you're projecting that because of what it is. Because the last time you were vulnerable, right? She took advantage of you. So now you got a scar. So when you go to your next relationship, you're like, I'm not doing that shit again.
But why can't vulnerability be something that I just choose not to do, and not just from something from my past? I just be like, hell nah. I look at vulnerability as being soft.
It's gonna get in the way of the relationship.
That's not true.
It's gonna get in the way of the relationship.
It's a reason why you're not being vulnerable.
Right.
Okay. And so it may not be a relationship. It could be parents. Right. It could be a sibling. It could have been a situation anywhere. You know what I'm saying? So you really got to dig deep.
I guess it depends on who you're with. If vulnerability is self-sabotage. Because if that person needs you to be vulnerable because of her personality or his personality or their characteristic traits or whatever, if they need that because they may need to feel that they can communicate with you, which most people do if they want to be in a committed relationship, right? But if they feel like, and if they don't have that, then it's almost like a who are you? Right. Like, I don't know anything about you. Like, you don't talk to me. You don't tell me things.
Right.
People want that. I was about to say women. People want that in relationships.
Right. But it depends on your vulnerability, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you say, like, when you get in a new relationship, right? You've been heartbroken and you get in a new relationship and you put your guard up. But you explain to the person why your guard is up. You will say, right, I'm not being vulnerable because your guard up, but you actually are being vulnerable because you explain it to the person.
Agreed.
You see what I'm saying? So it's different levels of vulnerability, and you giving that person the opportunity to make the choice to either stick it out or to let you go. And so by that's vulnerability, that's being vulnerable in itself. You know what I'm saying? And so I think you got to really understand more of who you are and where you are at that present moment to determine how much vulnerability that you are ready to let someone in or express. But if you completely shutting people out, then you might want to be alone and figure out what you need to heal from. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We all do. You know what I'm saying? I remember being vulnerable and I got my heart broken. Every man remember their first heartbreak. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I was depressed. I was depressed for a year. You know what I'm saying? And when I came out of it, I was a monster because hurt people hurt people. You know what I'm saying? And it took me a minute to heal from it.
You becoming a monster after that, do you consider that still self-sabotage?
I did self-sabotage.
Because I'm thinking self-sabotage still has to do with just fucking something good up. But self-sabotage can also just be letting this breakup affect me to the point where I'm out there hoeing, I'm out there doing whatever. I'm self-sabotaging.
And that's what it is. So what happened was,
whatever.
Right. And so what happened was I was out there becoming a monster. And so when I got ready to settle down, same thing that you were saying, it was certain things that I would see and I'd be like, oh, I remember old girl, so-and-so responded that way and she had a dude, you know what I'm saying? Or she did this. And so I'm like, nah, I don't want that. And that person can be something totally different. You know what I'm saying? And I had to let that part of my hurt go in order to be able to be open to love. You know what I'm saying? To be open to new relationships, to be open to being able to settle down.
I mean, I as you were saying that, I was thinking that other ways people can self-sabotage. And I guess if you have a list, right? If you have a list of, if you have a list of who you want your mate to be, and then someone comes along and is treating you right, and you're like, I don't want that.
Long hair, petite.
I still love the petite.
School teacher.
I still love the naturally relaxed.
Must
hair
love
now.
popcorn chicken.
Here we go. But no, I mean, even in that area where it's self-sabotage, where it's just like, damn, you know, like I have this list. Here goes this person that's, you know, doing right by me.
Right.
You know, the list is not really there,
Right.
but still.
I like that list thing. I hate the list thing.
look,
Like, but we all had it. I hate the list
no,
thing.
I didn't have no
you
list.
didn't have no list?
No.
You had it. You have a type.
No.
You didn't have a type?
No.
Everybody. So you just, if anything came to your way, you were good with
Not
it.
anything.
Okay, so don't
be getting country on me, Detroit.
Anything come your way,
no.
I will roll with it.
No, but like, okay, look.
But you have some type of parameter, some type of framework that you want your woman to be in.
Okay, but when people typically say list, like what he's referring to,
Yeah.
we're talking about this ridiculous list of whatever. That's what I think about.
Yeah.
Like if I said something like, I want her to have teeth.
Wait, first of all, where are you at where you got women with no teeth?
Houston.
No, you're not gonna do Houston like that. Nah, Houston my second home.
Hey, yeehaw.
Oh my God. You hear what I'm saying? See how they be? Don't get it twisted. Houston is more modern than you think, my baby. Like it's really cool. It's really crazy out there.
Wow.
Okay.
So, but is that a form of self-sabotage?
Look, I think that self-sabotage isn't always like something like this grandiose action on our own part, right? I think sometimes things can actually be beautiful.
Yeah.
Right? You can be in a relationship and say it's a year and things are going wonderfully, right? You're like, yo, this is on the way to something great. This is who I'm gonna be with. And then somewhere in there you start to get these cold feet. You know, you start to feel like, you know, is this right? Like, am I really ready to settle down? Man, like, she's so perfect. Does she really want me for me?
She gonna change.
Like this, like, yo, it's going too good. Like this, too good to be true. This is also self-sabotage.
That's what happened in my last relationship. And that's what. No.
I'm sorry,
So disrespectful. Go ahead. What you saying?
Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. No, because we're
Go ahead.
we're coming at the self-sabotage from different angles.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Coming up with a list. What you just said, that's a form of self-sabotage. What we started off with,
a very common one. Yeah.
Talking about something,
it's
hey,
just
you know,
different ones.
I got hurt before, so I'm not going to do it. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just
Different
coming
levels.
from different angles.
Right.
And I like how we're seeing the different angles, because it's not just one angle. Self-sabotage comes from one angle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was just like, you know, I gave that reference, because what you just said, that's exactly what I wanted to bring up. Like, some people self-sabotage like that, where it's just so good. There's no reason for you to self-sabotage, but you just, like you just said, you're really questioning, like, bro, like, this motherfucker good.
But
like,
that all comes from internal. You have to figure out what it is.
Hence the word self.
Okay. Self. Like, what is it that you are dealing with on the inside? Or what is, okay, not dealing with, you haven't dealt with on the inside.
Oh, they could be battling it.
Yeah.
They could be actively battling
it. They can be actively battling. And so those are the things that it has to come, it's inner. So self-sabotaging, some of the assumptions that you have, that's all internal.
Look, can I just say, just hear me on this. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I don't want to be too whatever, but if you find yourself in a relationship or newly out of a relationship and it's not where you need to be, but you're steadily trying to go back to it, that is also a form of self-sabotage because you know what's there.
Yeah.
You've seen what's there. It showed you. Yet you're still trying to go back and you know it's not good for you. That is self-sabotage because you're setting yourself up for failure.
Right.
So that is also another
failure.
I think it's self-sabotage, but you're setting yourself up for failure.
I was there.
You know? So so if you've seen the way they say, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. Right. And if you're steadily trying to go back to, and you know that's not good for you. You know what I'm saying? So that is also a form of self-sabotage.
She was my word.
I like that. I like that concept.
I've been there, man. That is like one of the things.
Feel me, yeah?
Yeah.
It's difficult to overcome, man. It was something I had read this poem, and it was saying how.
Wait a minute.
What? I read a poem.
Wait, we was talking about that earlier, and you was like, "Oh, you one of them."
No, that is not what I said. He said that.
I said because you write poems. He said he read one.
Okay, he said it, and you was in the pulpit.
I was in a pulpit, but I didn't praise. I was just listening to the sermon.
I was just saying because I'm like, hold on, how you gonna clown me?
I can't clown you. I write.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So I never forget.
Yeah. Well,
we're all artists in here. How you forget that?
All right. So that's why I didn't say that.
When he just said, all right, I was like, oh, I remember you just said
that. Yeah, that's why I'm like, how's he going to clown me when he talking about, oh, you one of them?
No, I didn't say that. That's what I'm saying.
No, he didn't say you one of them.
He said like he just had lunch in his belly for.
No, you're not going to do me like that. I don't even laugh.
That's what you did earlier.
Y'all been watching Christmas movies?
No, that's what you did earlier.
Because you sound like the Grinch right now. It's a Jim Carrey Grinch right there. But
I would. Okay, go ahead.
No, I forgot.
You read a poem.
I read a poem, and it was talking about how this love that you lost, you know what I'm saying, and how much you want it, and how you feel so unfulfilled without it. You know what I'm saying? You feel unfulfilled without it, but yet with it, you still felt unfulfilled. So you might as well just let it go.
Got you.
And so that kind of got me out of my depression. I was like, dang, I do want her, but it's not what I wanted. That's not fulfilling. And that same feeling that I have, I still feel it now, and she's not here. So I might as well just deal with it by myself.
So what's the opposite of self-sabotage? Because you did the opposite of self-sabotage.
Self-help.
Right?
Help.
Self-help.
I want something deeper
healing.
Than that. I want something
realization.
Deeper than self-help.
You know what I'm saying? Like that healing piece. You have to heal. Like those things that becomes trauma. Like when he was saying like there's different forms of PTSD. That's what it is. And so when you think of like self-sabotaging or these negative assumptions that you have, that's kind of like what PTSD are you suffering from? What is post-traumatic thing that you have that is causing you to react and respond in these ways? And if you don't deal with it, you're going to continue. That's like, what's the definition of sanity?
Doing the same thing.
Expecting different results.
Yeah. So you get in another relationship, you never dealt with the stuff in the past or the past trauma. You thinking you're going to have new love and it's going to be great. How? You still bringing the same baggage with you and you haven't even dealt with it. You know what I'm saying? And so that portion of that you being healed doesn't just help you. It also helped the next relationship because that person probably have some stuff too.
And for those of y'all listening, like this isn't always or ever something that you have to you have to determine on your own.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there are services out there that can help you. Like, we're not here to figure out everything by ourselves.
Right.
Like, that's not how it works, because these things that we're all speaking about, like, it may not be something that's evident to you. You may be in a place of tunnel vision,
mm-hmm.
and it just takes somebody to just reach in and kind of pull you off the track and bring you out and show you something, and then you're like, I didn't realize that. Yeah, because you were in this tunnel and you were going 100 miles per hour trying to get to wherever you're going, and you're not even paying attention to anything that's around you. But the moment somebody comes in and they break that stride,
mm-hmm.
and they're like, hey, look to the left. And you're like, oh,
right.
I didn't see that over there. Yeah, because you was moving too fast and you was focusing on something, and you missed it.
Right.
So I think that we have to think like that too. Like,
right.
But like we talked about in a previous episode, you have to have that emotional maturity, right? To be able to at least to try to identify that.
Right.
And or surround yourselves with people like these brothers that I have sitting on the couch, because these are individuals that we will tell each other, and we care so much, we don't care. We're going to tell you.
Right.
Fair? Right? And this is what we talk about all the time.
Accountability.
So exactly. And we have to look out for one another. So it's not your fault if you can't figure it out on your own. But what you can do is surround yourself with people that will care about you, and hopefully they can at least identify it. And even, I'm not saying that they can help you, but they can possibly point you in the right direction, so that you can get the assistance.
Or go get help. Like for me,
Exactly.
it just so happened, I was a psych minor. And so when I started taking classes, it helped me through. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't have to go sit on someone's couch, because I had to go in somebody's class. You know what I'm saying? And it was pretty much counseling.
Right.
You were going through counseling and going through different phases of counseling, and it helped me come through. It helped me kind of realize certain things. It helped me kind of come out. I was an angry adolescent, and it made me realize where the anger came from, how to let go of that anger, and then how to let go of the hurt from the young lady. And it was just, after that, it was just like, okay. I mean, it took a minute, because you know what I'm saying, you still have behaviors that's kind of already ingrained in you. And so you got to you got to replace it with new behaviors. So even though your mind has changed, that behavior hasn't changed until you replace it.
I want to say two things. First thing, you may have literally, I'm a business minded guy.
Yeah.
You may have discovered a new form of therapy where it's just like, I don't need to go sit on the couch and talk to a therapist. I'm gonna go take some psych classes.
No.
Let's stop for a second. Let me finish the thought. Because there are different forms of therapy. Because people think therapy is, I'm just gonna go sit on someone's couch. There are different forms of dealing with whatever you're going through. And I'm just saying, look at his face. I'm just saying, you may have discovered a new form where it's just like, okay, maybe I should go take some psych classes and learn about this area of psychology and learn about whatever. I'm just saying.
Wait.
That's the first thing.
Wait, hang on. Don't forget your second one. I don't want to put that out there, because have you ever been to therapy?
Yes.
Okay. You understand that when you go to therapy, you are working on your specific issues. You are working to understand what is going on in your life, in your psyche, your trauma, your past, your devils, your demons, what it is that you have going on in your life. The reason that I'm saying what I'm saying, and I'm like, no, is because when you go to a psych class, you're understanding the science behind it.
Right.
You're being taught what the methodology is when a person is trying to understand the psyche of a person, so that they can then later assist them with their individual issues. So I also have taken quite a few classes in the psych world. Okay. And that's not what it's for. It's for you to understand the thought process, the methodology behind the teaching, the way that people are, why they are the way they are, these things. Okay. And more. I'm short listing it, but more. But nothing in there is about you working with your specific issues. Now, last thing I'll say, what Mel is talking about is he's emotionally mature, right? He's understanding the content, and he's able to kind of see these might be some tools that I could use to help me, but it's not something that is specifically targeting what it is he has going on in his life, because he hasn't had a one-on-one conversation or a group therapy type conversation. It's just been the overview of what the study of psychology is.
Right.
Okay. So
I had another class where she actually gave us a tablet where it dove completely into like us, to yourself. And so you had to answer questions, and then she would do like small groups where it was group therapy or individual therapy within the class. And that was kind of towards the end. And so by that time I had that class, I was already out of it. You know what I'm saying? But
that's what I'm saying. That's what sparked my comment.
Hold on. I was out of my depression, but I went on a tangent.
But hang on, wait.
That's what sparked my question.
Wait, I got you.
Okay.
But I've had the same thing.
Yeah.
You're giving him the glory piece of it. That's like a practical evaluation. That's like a final exam. That's like a thesis in this particular course.
Right.
It's one time. You get what I'm saying? It's an exercise that you perform. Therapy could be weeks upon weeks upon years of addressing your issues. Because I'm gonna tell you, I won't say an onion. You're more like, what is the one with the heart? An artichoke. Right?
Yeah.
So you're more like an artichoke. You're peeling the layers back. There's a heart in the center, but you're peeling these layers back. And as you peel layers back, you start to reveal other things.
Right.
Oh, I'm having this problem in the relationship. Boom. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe this is related to my mother or my father not being in my life. Oh man, my father wasn't being in my life. Oh, but this is why I was shaped this way. This is why I was misbehaved. Like, it's boom, boom. So no.
Okay.
The class is not going to answer that for you.
No.
But it's going to
That's what I got from it. Okay.
So that's why I'm like, yo, that's a little misleading.
That's what I got from it. Not
You got that class helped me.
But I was just like, oh shit, like
no.
No.
well, the class from going to class.
But
That's
you know
what's
what?
up.
If that's the case, they're going to put all of them out of business.
No, because I'm saying that there's, and we know we have to stay on this topic, but like there's different forms of therapy that people, like cats go and do art, and that's their form of therapy, and they feel
cats for real.
So man, shit, there's therapy sessions where it's just like you sit in a room with a bunch of cats, bro. There's different forms of therapy, and I just thought that would have been a new form discovered. Where it's just like, you know what,
I understand what you're saying.
Instead of putting my money on a therapist, I'm gonna go put in some classes and learn. It
might be cheaper for a therapist though.
Probably right per credit hour.
Okay, but listen. But do you really think that if you go sit in a room full of cats, that it's going to work through your deep rooted issues that could potentially date back to your teen
Everybody's
years?
different though.
But I'm just saying. But do you think that if you go once a week and go sit in a room with cats as they climb on the little things on the wall and crawl between your legs and play on their freaking belly with a ball and yarn, do you really think that's going to help you get to your deep rooted issues?
I can't determine that.
It may, but it may relax you.
Right.
It may take your mind away. It may be like the float therapy, right? It may be something that it puts you at ease. It calms you down. It helps you to relax. But it's not necessarily fixing issues or addressing these issues.
Getting to the heart of
don't confuse going to a therapist versus doing something that can calm you, ease you, relax you.
Good point.
With that logic, right? With that logic, we would say, I'll just go to a massage every week because that's relaxing. No,
because I mean,
that's not going to work your deepest issues.
That's people's concept. Like I feel like that's some people's concept now, where it's just like, you don't have to do the therapist thing. You can do other forms of stuff to help you.
Assuming,
but I like how you just said.
Yeah, that's more of assumptions because you got to literally, when somebody do that, you got to really see and understand. Is it really working? You know what I'm saying? Is it really addressing the issue that they may have? Now, if you have a fear of cats, you need to sit in in a kitty room or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
The kitty cat.
in a kitty cat
strip club.
In a kitty room.
I'm about to go do that therapy. Go to the kitty room.
Right. So you know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? But I think it's definitely you definitely got to be educated in a different form. So you definitely got to be educated on what it is that you're looking for. And so what the class did, it gave me different tools to utilize to unpack and
that's a therapy term.
Yeah, I know. To unpack the artichokes or the onions or the layers of what I was going through. Banana peel.
See, You need to go. You better talking about bananas.
But you know what I'm saying? It gave me tools to start with. And so when I had the last class for that semester, it just kind of dug deep into like answering more questions. And then when the lady kind of met with us, it kind of just, she gave us the floor to kind of communicate. And by giving us the floor, it kind of just opened the doors for different things. And so when I took that class, I was almost like a senior or whatever. And so it literally transitioned me out of that hurting phase. You know what I'm saying? Because I started realizing that I'm hurting people. You know what I'm saying? I'm being a complete a-hole out here in these streets. And so, it took me a minute to kind of, start apologizing to folks for the silly stuff that I was doing and start trying to get my, moving in the right direction.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Another point I want to make about the therapy and the way that you go about it, right? And why I think that something like going to a class, for example, or floating or going in a room with cats or going surfing, whatever somebody does, these are ways that they accompany whatever it is you're going through or working on to help your state of mind. Right. If you have to take your car to the mechanic, right, you're not just gonna have him walk around and just like see a dent on the side of it and just put some touch-up paint on it. No, because if there's a dent there may be something on the inside that has been damaged, right? They may have to take the fender off and look inside and make sure. If the car has been in an accident, I mean, we know about cars here. If the car has been in an accident, one of the I'm about to say that one of the major things you want to check is the chassis, right? Because if the chassis is crooked, this could potentially make the car be in the status of being totaled, right? So you have to check what's on the inside. Going to a psychologist or psychiatrist, that is what's checking the inside. Now, based on these sessions, once you've figured out or you're on the right path of figuring out what the root problem is, now they may say, okay, listen, you need to come here once a week for this and this, and we're going to do this, and I'm going to give you exercises, and we're going to talk, and we're going to do that. But, also go surfing on the weekend. Spend an hour out there at the beach or whatever. Go and play basketball or do flotation. Float
therapy. Yeah.
Float therapy. Go do float. So these are things that may accompany what you're doing, for example, but they're not a way to get through to the root of the problem. That's the touch-up paint on the outside of the car, not taking the fender off, checking what the damage is internally.
I'm glad we talked about this because I really believe a lot of people out there are really like, no, I got to see someone. I'm going to do what I like to do, and that's my phone. I'm just glad it came up because maybe this can help people out who's watching and stuff like that. I'm not going to say what doesn't work or what does work. That's the other thing.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when you definitely gotta, what's the saying? If it doesn't bear fruit, it's not a fruit tree or whatever. How it goes, I don't know. It's something like that. I don't know. You can tell what it is by the fruit that it bears. You know what I'm saying?
If you're not on a diet, you can eat what you want.
Not on keto.
Well, let me get to the second point. The second point. Oh no, go ahead. Finish your point.
Go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
Go to your second
point.
Man,
y'all being too nice. Speak. Go ahead, man.
The second point, and you guys kind of chimed in on it, this last portion of the discussion, but like, how correlated is assumptions and sabotage? Like, if I assume and make assumptions without, asking the questions and doing all that, is that a form of self-sabotage as well? But
you know what? We take whatever negative we associate with assumption, but anything positive we associate with expectations. You know what I'm saying? And so
I don't know. Some people expect people to cheat. They always say all men are dogs and whatever. So
right.
I don't know.
Based on assumptions.
How is that wrong though?
What is wrong?
How is to always just be on this level of I ain't gonna be made a fool? So yeah, I'm gonna assume this. I'm gonna expect this. I'm gonna do this because I need to make sure that I ain't gonna be made a fool.
Who decides that you're a fool or not?
Yourself.
Huh?
Yourself.
Say it again. Say it again.
Yourself.
So if you only feel that way because of yourself, no one told you a fool. You know what I'm saying? Everybody plays the fool for love sometimes.
That's a song, yeah.
I want to roll today, but you know what I'm saying? Boy, oh man,
We
oh
trying
man.
to make points, and y'all trying to get on Casey Kasem top 10 countdown.
Nah, but I'm saying, but you know, like your shoot, I forgot to laugh at that. Oh no.
Don't laugh at me. Make your point. Go sing your song. Sing the song in it, man.
But you know what I'm saying? We all you just like you said, it's yourself that makes the decision whether you a fool or not. And so your decision, you look in the mirror and you have to decide: are you happy with the decisions that you make? Right? And so you can be a fool by being closed and not vulnerable. You could be a fool by being open. Any way it goes, it's still it's your decision to decide.
Look, man, no risk, no reward. Okay? Like
Chances make champions, baby.
That's good.
But no, seriously though, like, but you never, like, if you don't take a risk, like, you're never going to find happiness. If we're talking about relationships and you want to be in a relationship, if we're talking about a job that you really want and you don't actually apply and give your full effort, like, if you don't try, and you have to understand, you have to make a calculated decision. Mm-hmm. Is the risk worth the reward, or, you know, vice versa, whatever? This
is still related to assumptions, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. Because if you're assuming, then that may prevent you from going after something. You have to, make your assumptions, but then you still have to make an educated decision.
Right.
Even though she's this way, she may end up like this, but I really want to see what's going to happen. I'm going to give it a shot. Anytime we're in what's that? Go ahead.
Like this. Wow. You just assumed before we even started the entire podcast that you wasn't good for it. Did it stop you? Did that fear stop you? You see what I'm saying?
Taste the soup. Taste the soup.
Mama call Cash Clay. I'm gonna call Cash Clay.
You don't know this reference?
No, he don't.
Well, the voice that you just did, I'm assuming, is Coming to America.
Yeah, there we go.
Taste the soup.
I don't remember that part of the movie though.
But yeah, you know what I'm saying? And so it's not the fact that you're gonna get rid of assumptions. It's not the fact that you're gonna get rid of fear. It's not the fact that you're gonna get rid of any of that.
Never.
It's all it is. You have to dive. You have to jump. You have to go. You have to just go for it. Like he said, you got to take the risk.
Calculated decisions.
Chances make champions. You know what I'm saying? If you don't take chances.
I think he was a basketball coach when he was younger.
Going to this story.
All right, guys, come on.
Go to this story. You've been everything. Go to this. That's good though. It's admirable.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to go for it. You know what I'm saying? And so when you enter these relationships, it's a risk. It's always a risk. It's a risk that your heart's going to be broken every time you enter a relationship.
Yep.
So what you're gonna let that stop you from experiencing love? Some people go through life.
Wait. Say what you just said.
Is it gonna stop you?
No, before that, it's
always a risk.
It's always a risk that your heart is gonna be broken in a relationship.
Okay, but what? I thought we were trying to move away from that assumption or that expectation.
That's a fact. You can't control humans. That's a fact. We don't need to tell you that. That's already known.
It's a 50-50 chance.
Is it not? Why can't it be? So why can't it be
50-50?
I was at 50-50.
No, but I'm saying, because that's what we're sitting here saying. From what I got in the beginning, is remove that assumption of it's always going to be negative.
No.
So
I'm not saying. I'm not. What we're saying is
the question: why is it usually always often a negative assumption?
There's a chance that it's a chance that you go out there and get hit by a car, but don't mean it's gonna happen.
Really?
It is a chance.
No.
Yes.
He looks both ways before he crosses the street.
It's not that he don't look both ways. It's just the fact that the person who was driving didn't see you.
Actually, Kingsley looked both ways before he crossed the sidewalk.
Yeah, I do too. Boy, people out here be.
Hello. I never walked on the sidewalk with y'all.
What are you talking about? When we leave the studio, it's one right out there.
Oh.
Ooh. He didn't even know he was on the side.
That was one time.
I rest my case.
Go ahead, what you just said.
Nah, I don't. Listen, that's all I'm saying.
But
just, you gotta take those chances. You know, and you don't let fear, you don't let your negative assumptions stop you. You know what I'm saying? They always gonna be there. but you just got to push past it.
Yeah, I like
see
how
it through.
I like how you tied in the podcast thing. That was dope.
Well, look, we can always go back and forth on these, right? Because everything is going to be based on the situation that we may be in. But I think what it kind of boils down to is we have to make sure that we're always going to have assumptions, but we have to make sure that we're making a educated decision or a choice, right? Based on the assumptions that are there. We have to be smart about it. You learn from your past. You don't let it prevent you from moving forward, right? So we got the assumptions that we're dealing with.
Discernment.
And then we have to make sure that we're going to be, vulnerable to the situation, because if we block off that vulnerability, then that can prevent us from having what it is we're looking for, especially if we're talking about a love relationship. And most importantly, we can't let what's in our self-sabotage what's going on, right? Because once we do that, now we've completely blocked off. A self-sabotage could be a complete walk away from whatever the situation is. So I think we kind of have to put all those together when we're making these decisions, especially if we're talking about relationships, because like you said, like there's always a chance. There's always a chance of a heart being broken. There's always a chance. It's not saying that it's always going to happen, but you need to have that in your mind. And you, me, we all need to figure out and make sure that we're willing to take the chance because the risk is worth it. And if you make that calculation and you feel that the risk is not worth taking the chance, make your decision and walk off, right? That's just what it is. But yo, listen, across the couch is my man Mel, and to my immediate left is my brother Kingsley. I am Omega, and this is Diverse Clarity. This is where we have those thought-provoking conversations about things that matter and some that don't. We'll catch you next episode.